Cheers is a level made for JellyCar Worlds by using the in-game level editor. JellyCar Worlds is a driving platforming game developed by Wilder Entertainment and released in 2022. It features squishy physics and imaginative levels, each centered around different associations of core ability mechanics and secondary mechanics. This level is set in World 7 as it uses the grappling hook ability as its core mechanic, and uses lasers, blocks to push, activated doors, and conveyor belts as its secondary mechanics. Perhaps more importantly, Cheers is meant to keep with the playful, cheeky tone of the game through its interactions and level goals. In Cheers, your goal is to make a drink. Some might say that it looks like a margarita, but I will leave that to your appreciation. You will need to collect ingredients around the level and fill the cocktail glass with them. When the glass is full, the red losange, which always represents the main exit in JellyCar Worlds, will fall in the glass. Before getting there, however, we first need to introduce our player to the level mechanics in this gated section. To go through, the player needs to understand that lasers activate doors and that blocks can be used in place of the car to activate lasers. To convey to the player that the laser is safe, the grappling hook pickup is placed on top of the laser path, and the laser path is the only way they can go. Dropping in the laser's recess, the door activates, freeing the ice cube. If the players try to drive up, however, they will sooner or later realize that the gate closed back. To go through, they must get the cube into the laser's path. For this small transitional section, focused on traversal, we reintroduce the use of the grappling hook for transportation, which will come into play at several points in the level. Next, our player gets introduced to the level's hub. This is where the level's theme really comes into play. The glass is the center of the level, but also their goal. The camera pulls back to let the player analyze the scene, but also to emphasize our glass. They are presented with the same ice cube as lasers as previously, and they can also spot the red exit hexagon. They can see the salt shaker above. To help guide the player, further rooms are also gated until the player starts filling up the glass. Driving into the cube pushes it down the glass. This opens the first door and starts to open the salt shaker. With the door opened, the player can grab a hook to the conveyor belt and get hoisted up to the next area, just about squeezing through. Next, we get to the beer pong room, where the player gets introduced to the double conveyor belt system. Arriving in this room, the player can see ping pong balls continuously being shot up by the two belts. This aims to demonstrate the effect and implies that they might want to use it in the same way. The presence of a grappling hook pickup before the belts helps to recharge the ability, but also implies that they can or even should use it on their way through the room. Doing so might require the player to retry a few times, since it is quite dependent on the position of the cups and the number of balls in or on the cups. This was done on purpose to match the type of goofy and bouncy interactions you can find in JellyCar Worlds. Obviously, the player is given a full safety net to allow them to quickly retry if needed. Back in the hub, both ice cube and car fall straight into the glass. With the second block activating the middle laser, the salt shaker door opens along with the bottom right section door. Just like the previous one, this allows to gate that part of the level until the player is required to explore it. Seeing the door opening helps to direct the player's attention. I feel that our margarita is in desperate need of some lime, but maybe not the whole thing. A slice should be enough. This room presents a small twist on the activated door/laser mechanic. This time, the door works as a launcher to push a big lime around until it reaches the ball. When landing inside the ball, a lime slice shoots back to the entrance of the room. Traveling back to the hub, the player must use what they previously learned about the double conveyor belt. This time, however, they need to make sure that the lime comes with them, either by dragging it or pushing it between the belts. Finally, back in the glass, the third laser gets activated by the lime. The third gate of the salt shaker opens, freeing the red hexagon exit. It falls in the glass along with the salt. Hitting the red hexagon concludes the level. Like the rest of the game, Cheers features what the dev describes as opt-in difficulty, where the player can use side optional challenges as a way to increase difficulty. Cheers includes 4 of these challenges: the secret exit, 2 time challenges, and collecting JellyCar letters. For this level, I wanted the secret exit to keep the design philosophies laid out by the developer. The secret exit should foster and reward exploration. I also wanted it to use the mechanics set out in the main level, but to push the player to think a bit outside the box and maybe use these mechanics in a new way. Because it features a risk of falling off the map and triggering a game over, it was important to offer this section early in the level to allow the player to quickly retry or test a new theory. The secret exit is located under the first room of the level. It is not visible from the room. However, if the player explores and falls through the hole, they will always be able to see the secret exit triangle and its path, represented by a dotted line. The triangle's movement, along with the lack of visibility from the top of the hole, limits the chance for the player of falling on the triangle by luck. To make sure they reach the secret exit, our player must rappel down the hole until it hits them. Since ice is the only surface preventing you from attaching a grappling hook, the player must use the ice cube instead. The next challenge, Beat the Time, is set to 3 minutes 45 seconds and matches a good but not perfect run through the level. This is meant to be achievable on a second run through this level or even first try for experienced players. The other time challenge, Beat the Dev, rewards a higher level of knowledge of the level. To reach the 1 minute 38 second goal, the players will be forced to skip one of the sections. To help them, they can see and follow the dev ghost recorded. They can follow it and try to replicate its path, or even find their own. Finally, collecting JellyCar letters rewards mastery of the core ability mechanic, the grappling hook, by making the player reaching for parts of the geometry previously unused. Since this is the last challenge in the expected player path, this was also thought as a different yet familiar way to play a final time through the level to the main exit. If you wish, you can also check out the level design documents for Cheers, a link for which is available in the description below. In it, you can find more detailed information, maps, diagrams about what we talked about in this video, along with info on other subjects such as balancing and playtesting. I created Cheers when reaching the end of my degree at University of Staffordshire, which has frankly been a life-changing experience. From the start of this project, I really thought of it as a celebration, a drink for myself, but also a drink for all the lecturers and students who shaped who I am today. And in a way, I really wanted to thank them all from the bottom of my heart. Cheers!